Welcome back to another session of Tech Talk. Sorry for the little hiatus, but of course, as you all know, AML Communications, AMLcares.com are our sponsors of Tech Talk. And in the last segment, Adam was supposed to bring the Galaxy S3, and of course left it on his desk. It was charging, so he told me, and we had to wait a little while. That's why we took a little hiatus. It's not because we didn't want to come to you with new tech news, but Adam had to go and find the Galaxy S3 that AML graciously gave him.
That's somewhat true. You're kind of stretching the truth here. I think we're all going to...
I thought so too, but the good news is you found it.
I did.
You charged it.
And I brought it.
And you brought it. The Galaxy S3, and my understanding is, and having that little preamble conversation with you, is you kind of like this.
You know what? I am beyond like. I am beyond like.
Are you nearing love?
If we're on the conversion stage, so
yeah. Wait a minute. You're turning your back on everything else in the marketplace for that device?
You know, it took me a while, and as a business owner, I got frustrated with the first 2 days. And because I got it, AML Communications graciously lent this to me the day it came out. So this is hot off the press, available from AML Communications, and I stole it.
Which was like 2 weeks ago.
It was, it was about 2 weeks ago when I came in, but I was there the day that it arrived, and I've been playing with it. So I really didn't give it a chance. The first couple days, I got frustrated. I actually, took my chip out. I'm like, this is just, it's not working. Yeah. I had to get back to my Blackberry. I had to, I just need it to work. I need my emails, I need my texts, I need my BBM, I need my calendar. Everything needs to work. So, in the voice recognition, and because I'm a key in myself, on the road, I use the voice recognition quite a bit because I just find it convenient. My fingers typing, don't get me wrong, I type, but those long ones, it's like, I got to get this out quick. So anyway, I gave it a couple days, and finally I was like, we're going to do the show. I better give it a chance, really review it, and give it a chance to talk about why it doesn't work for me or what it needs to do. Well, 3 days later, I'm having a real hard time, and the guy's going to have to pull it out of my hands when I hand it back to them. Why is it, I think, a great business tool, and how have they stepped up their game? Number one, this is running on the new operating system of Android, which is it's running off of the ice cream sandwich. Jelly Bean already has been announced. That's the new upgrade. And what is the key difference in Jelly Bean to the ice cream is voice recognition, understanding better the ability of what it can do. But let's talk about from an efficiency standpoint. It comes with all of the features, if you're an Android user, that you would expect. Is Samsung the key component here? It's light. I mean, we compared it to a Torch and a Bold. You know what? Extremely light. Still a little big. You need a waist holster to kind of put it on.
Nice size screen.
Just to share it with you, I mean, I put it in my pocket. It is perfectly pocket size for the business, okay? So it is still big. It's a little thinner when we had the Galaxy Note.
You might not want it in your back pocket because you've ever sat on it. I'm sure
yeah, do not use back pocket. It's got a forward and back facing camera. Like the Galaxy Note, it's a little thinner though. It does work with the pen that the Galaxy Note had, that you can actually do hand recognition software in the text notes. The key thing on this though is just how smooth and how fluid it is. There's 3 buttons at the bottom. You got your menu button, you got your button on the main on button. You just basically press it twice and it brings up the voice recognition. Press it again for once to give you your main menu. And then you've got your back button. So anytime you're like, oh, where do I go? Oh, it's talking to me. Then it allows you to go back, and we're going to talk about some of it. As you heard, I was scheduling something at the moment. So Apple has Siri. Galaxy S is their voice recognition. It still has some tweaking and getting used to. I was getting very frustrated with it, to be honest, with regards to how to make a call. Call Greg. It would say where, what number, and there's a lot of steps I had to get used to with regards to how to make it more efficient. The Blackberry still has a better, in my opinion, calling Bluetooth function. So call Greg work. Boom, it calls it, no problem. So that's the only little bit that I look at and go, ugh, a little frustrating, however that can play a role.
But what's cool is when you're talking about typing a message and then deciding partway through the message, this is going to be too much. Maybe I should just call.
Well, one of the key components of the new features of the new Galaxy S3 is it's got a lot of motion features to it. Motion meaning if you scan your hand over top of it, it's supposed to take a picture. This one has a little bit of a bug in it, and that was a common issue. However, it does, and I have seen it work. You scan it, takes a screenshot, shake it, it updates it, and while I'm texting, so in this case I've got a preloaded text for yourself, if I just hold it to my ear, it just buzzed, and your phone should be ringing in about 3 seconds with, me. So as I'm it's like I'm texting, coming up with an idea, then I have to be able to pick up the phone and go, oh, I just don't have time, I'm just going to call. So as I'm holding it to my ear, it's going to call you as we speak.
There it is.
So it says calling already, and obviously you're going to get a call in about 3 seconds. So what is so neat about this is the fact that it's, again, simple.
But you didn't push any button. You just simply
I just held it to my ear. Yep.
And then it decided that
Completely.
you wanted to make a call.
Exactly. So this is one of the key elements that I think are really key. Now, it's going to be hard to zoom in on this, but one of the other areas is the voice recognition, as I mentioned. Voice recognition was working in many areas pertaining to writing an email, making a note, and that's where I really found the advantage of this product. Again, very fluid with the thumb. I'm barely even touching it, and it flows very easily. It taps into your Google account, and if you've got a Google account with Gmail, Calendar, Contacts, especially businesses that are using that as a focus of how they're going to build their business or work, what happens is you got one username, one password, and it gives you everything you need. All of it in one easy, convenient area. I literally typed in my email address, my password for Google, everything was online. Not only was everything online, it also allowed me to be able to put in my calendar events. It allowed me to link, if I added a calendar event now, it would instantly be online. It shares my calendar event. There's none of this time delay sequence. As long as you got a Wi-Fi, real time, it's doing the sync. So I've pulled up, and you may not be able to see the full function of this, but there's a little memo. This is S memo, and whether it's an email or otherwise, there's a little microphone in the keypad, so you can type, and it does smart type. So it tries to get a sense of what words you're saying, and it will give you an option along the top. But I'm going to click this. Hi, Greg. How are you? Comma. I just wanted to share with you how this operating system works. And as you can see, it's already typing all of what I just said. Hi, Greg. How are you? I just want to share with you how this rating system works. Okay, it's 98% correct. I was rushing, and I didn't give it a chance. So, give it a moment. Let's just talk about this. Now, as a note, when it was typing those words, little underlines came underneath. And again, what happens is if I touch that, you'll see that, you won't be able to see it very well, but there's a little drop-down menu, and it gives you the option of words that maybe you meant to say, or just delete the word. So in this case, I'll just delete that one word, and you and I have comma, I said the word comma, it actually put the word, did you mean to say actually the word comma? So again, quick tips, easy, convenient abilities to be able to link and share. Again, a back button. Now, the beauty is, talking about voice recognition, this one I found a little weak, and it's got some work to go on. But it's the Galaxy S they refer to as more as the speak recognition program. So it asks you immediately, what would you like to do? And so right now it says no one. It's got voice welcoming, so I can say you can pre-program any word you want. In this case, it defaults to Hi Galaxy. Schedule an appointment at 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon with Greg. Now, as it's checking right now, it's cut my sound off and it's calculating it. I asked, obviously, for an appointment.
Should I invite?
It synchronized my entire address book. So right now I'm going to put, I'll add you.
Okay. What time?
1 p.m. And it's going to schedule an appointment. As you can see, 1 p.m. came up for me.
Here is your meeting. Should I save it?
Yes.
Great. I'm saving this appointment now.
Wow.
And it's now just,
Okay. I saved it to your calendar.
so I got confirmation. So now it goes back on hold. So it confirms it, you can see it. And if I go to my calendar right now, you and I have an appointment at 1 o'clock tomorrow, which maybe we do, maybe we don't.
Maybe we should.
Are you available?
I haven't
tomorrow
checked
when I go?
with my calendar, actually.
So you can take a look, and again, I'll share my calendar. If you can see it at home, you can see that I've got a bunch of calendars in here, and you can see there's a 1 p.m. meeting right now with Greg that's been programmed into my calendar. So all I did was I plugged in my username and my password. And prior to the show when we began, I was showing Greg it was empty, but when I signed in, I was downloading Skype to show the video feature of it, and it instantly just pulled everything in. And as Greg can see now, all my calendar appointments are now in here.
Wow.
And I can add more as we go.
Fantastic.
So again, it's all about efficiency, productivity, and I always look at this in business. You got to always look at, okay, toys are one thing, and now I'm at a point where this becomes a very clear business model. The other point that really is neat is Dropbox, which is a program allowing you to upload very large files. You get about, I think, maybe it's 5 gigs or 1 gig of space for free. It's integrated immediately in this. Why this is important is that in some of the past mobile devices, you may film something, but if it's over a meg and you try to upload it, sorry, your provider does not allow for that large. You have to get to a Wi-Fi, or you got to download it through a memory stick. In this case, it actually will send it through a Dropbox upload, which you can do. So it is going to use your bandwidth, and it will upload and then send the link to the person, whether it's yourself or whether the person you want to share it with. So those video large files are now being able to be easily integrated across many platforms. So you're not limited anymore. And let's talk about bandwidth. Holy jumping dying ball-headed. You get yourself a phone, you get on the phone, you start surfing, you're downloading Netflix, you're on Skype, you start looking at emails, and
next thing you know, the big bill comes in.
Exactly. Hello, Bill. So one of the key elements in this is, again, the capability of being able to set restrictions. And again, you've always counted on your provider to tell you, and Rogers has been very good at that. But there's also times when it goes over the limit. And what do you get at the end of the month? A hefty bill. And most of us have pretty hefty data plans at this moment. But let's just say you are an aggressive user. You gave it to your kids for the day, they downloaded Netflix and watched 3 movies. Well, that's about 800 megs for an average movie at high depth if you're downloading, okay? If you only got 1 gig or 500 megs, you're going to chew through that data really fast. So what you've got is the capability of setting your data usage now, and in this case I set it as 1 gigabyte as my max, and then I set a warning at about 800. So it will tell me, hey, you only got 200 megabytes, slow down, Captain.
And then what happens when it hits a gig?
At 1 gig your data shuts off and says, sorry, call your provider if you want to get more.
Wow.
So I actually hit it.
That's a great tool.
You know, I've got 6 gigs on my plan at this moment based on Rogers, very aggressive, and I hit 1 gig as a test, shut it down, said or use Wi-Fi, it will still work. So this limitation is allowing you to control now. And that's the key that I like about this, is it gives you some control over how much data you're using. Again, Blackberry, extremely powerful tool, and one of its capabilities is that it does compress information very well. But if you're a heavy browser user, you're uploading a lot more pictures, a lot more video, you're integrating all your social media connections, you got yourself a little tablet right here in your hand. So the calendar features, very, very key. I think controlling all of the features about it. But again, I like to really touch on the point of toys versus tool. And this, in my opinion, really balances the two, and if anything, makes the tool
more productive. From your
productive.
perspective, that connection between Google, and you wanted to talk about that, but that was critically important. You kind of brought you over the curve of saying, should I consider this?
Well, when AML Communications gave me the Galaxy Note and the Galaxy S2, I liked it. But I kept saying in all of it, they're nice toys. You know, they're cool, they're neat, and if you like it,
if you want to play Angry Birds, they're great.
Yeah, exactly, and it's really neat. That's not why I like this for business, and that's why I say it actually steps into the grounds, which now, in my opinion, is acceptable for a small business person to be able to use this effectively. So battery power, very important. I just put a new battery in my Blackberry, and I got great battery usage now. So I was always impressed with Blackberries and their battery capability. This one uses the same amount of battery power as my Blackberry. Now, I started up mountain biking just to give you a sense of where I'm going, and I go around the bay from Hamilton around Burlington, which is 40 kilometers. On the Blackberry, I can go around with 25% still left. and I'm using a program that tracks my GPS, so every time I stop, every time I begin, I've got my digital phone, or digital radio, so it's feeding radio, so I'm streaming radio, I'm tracking my progress, and I've got Vlingo on here, so it's reading my emails, and the weather, and it keeps on track of my weather, okay? 25%. Same track, got to about 15% around the track. Now, not bad, same distance, using all the same resources. So the point I'm making is I was still able to go 2.5 hours polling on a consistent basis, and that's the key. It has it's almost like talking for 2 hours straight. I'm pulling a lot of information from the data source online, and that's what's key, is that this still was able to go 2.5 hours pulling on 3 major sources: my GPS, my radio, as well as reading and communicating with my text and emails. So in my opinion, it still ranks well as far as heavy usage with regards to how it can work for the small business. So that's the hot product I really wanted to touch on about Google. And I mean, there's a lot of other neat things going on with Google. Google Glasses is coming out with a vengeance. The little eyepiece, when they launch in this next year, is going to be very key. And if you haven't had a chance to check that out, you should. Just Google Glasses. Well, that sounded awkward. But anyway, it is available. Number 2 is Google Plus getting aggressive. Again, talking on the Google train, Google Events is now available. Schedule your event, share it with friends. Again, integrating Google as that social media. The attack on Facebook is on, and they are coming out hard on this. Number 3, they've taken the maps of Google Places, which used to be where you go to Google Maps, register a business, and then you can link. Now it's all into Google Plus. So just keep that in mind, is Google Plus, but it gives you a lot more business ability. You can put more information. You can now link your likes, put your reviews, comment. It's really trying to streamline that connect to consumer. So if you haven't updated or added your business to Google yet, now's the time. So I would encourage you to do that. And the last thing that I thought was really neat, and ironically made by Microsoft, is a little program called ONX. And it's a software beta mode right now that you can download for the Android operating system. And what makes this unique is that it allows you to set it up that it tracks your GPS. So if you've got preloaded notes that you're done at work at 6 o'clock or 5:30, and you used to say, like if you're running behind, I better text my wife or let her know I'm running behind or whatever. It instantly will, when you leave, know when you're moving out of the building, you get in your car, send a preloaded text message to say, I'm now on the road, and then it calculates the traffic, the distance home. This is when I'll be home. Now, whether you want to give that information out is up to you. However, some of us find I could have just texted. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You know what? Saves a lot of arguments.
That's very convenient though, because oftentimes we anticipate, especially maybe not so much going home, but because that's kind of a routine you do every day, so you know the length of time. But if you're going from here to an appointment maybe in another city, the next city, you're not sure of the traffic, you're not sure of what's happening. Boy, it's sometimes embarrassing to phone and admit you left the office a little bit late. This can take the place of that and say, hey, because of traffic, I'm running a little late. I expect to be there in.
Right, yeah. And now keep in mind, you can't use it as an excuse anymore. So I just want to make that a key point out there, is that you can't drop this one as
As long as it doesn't have a preloaded message that says, look, I left late because I really didn't care.
You could probably do that. If you're in that point of your relationship, you know what? Please don't use this as a communication tool. Please. Talk to your friendly neighborhood lawyer. So that's what's happening out there in the Google land, and what's going on in the operating software and otherwise. Lots is happening, but
these
are the key
weeks, and you come here with more Google updates. You come here finally with the Samsung
with the actual
Galaxy S3. Is anybody else doing anything?
Well, you know what? Yeah, I guess there's some others. What's the fruit? Apple, right? Yeah, they're still around. Apple actually I didn't know this, just finally got their name iPad. They didn't have the rights of the name. Ironically, they named this product, paid apparently originally a couple $50,000 for the name, thought, that problem's solved, and they realized that wasn't the guy who actually owned the full rights. So it cost them now $40 million out of China to a company that actually owned the rights.
Of course it would.
But don't leave Apple out. You know what? They've got lots of new things. We talked about that in one of our past tech
Well,
talks.
they've got a new device coming out in the fall.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some new devices coming out, new operating systems. But one of the things I think which is important, kind of segueing back to this bad girl, is that in the U.S., Apple actually won a case where the Galaxy Tab is being restricted for sales due to a patent challenge right at the moment. So the battle continues, ironically, to Samsung, which makes the iPhone, restricting them from selling their tab. I don't know. This just sounds like it's one of those serendipitous, it's never going to end. But
more and more battles. iPhone trying to create their own little world, and
Google battle. So while Google and Apple are battling it, out comes this Microsoft company, and they bought this Yammer for 1.2 billion, as well as their operating system now that they're coming out with. You ready for this? $39.99 is the new cost of the new operating 8 Pro for the desktop. So they're starting to see we better start sharpening our pencil a little bit when it comes to operating systems. As well as one of the hot messages out there is their new Surface, the new tablet with the keyboard. Very hot, very hot. I can't even talk about what it could be. Can't wait to get my hands on it and we can truly put it to the test. But it's
AML. Adam's coming and knocking.
Exactly. Hello. Can I have the Twitters? So anyway, at the end of the day, it's interesting to see that the other guys are still coming out, and of course, BlackBerry's still holding strength. The 10's still coming out, as they said in the first quarter, as well as rumor was BBM was being offered to be purchased by Apple, and they denied it. Said no thanks.
Well, probably should.
That should be. Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
For sale yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the rumors have it that BlackBerry 10, when it does come out, is going to be pretty spectacular. And I think, prudent. I know they originally talked about the fall, but I think hearing Torsten Heinz the other day say, we want to make sure that this is right.
Yeah. And
I think BlackBerry users around the world want to make sure they make it right.
Yes.
There's no question about it. So, hey, let's see what happens on the next Tech Talk. Join us again. Thanks to AML, amlcares.com. Go there for all your devices, all your needs. Everything you need to know about tech is there. Or let this guy know, Adam Oldfield, fpm3.com. Go and visit him and see what's happening.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Adam.